All right, guys, welcome back to welcome back. Today we're gonna go over kind of how we're gonna check weather, or a way you can check weather. Pretty much the simple way for when we're gonna fly. So for that, we're gonna go over to www.1800wxbrief.com. So that is actually the phone number where you can call and get this information, or you can do it online here, 1-800-WXBrief.com. WX stands for weather in the aviation world, so that's what we'll go with. Once we get here, this is the home page. You'll see home, pilot dashboard, map and weather charts, flight planning and briefing, airports, UAS, account, links, help, and you can log in. You get a lot more stuff if you create a new account. It's free. I recommend you do that, but we'll go into that later. So we're going to go up here to map and weather charts. Click on that, and forgive me, my internet at home is slow, so we'll go for that. Now earlier when I did it, it popped up a huge area, pretty much the whole United States. So in the search bar, I type Foxtrot Sierra Mike and then hit search, and it pops up that there is the Fort Smith Regional Airport and the Fort Smith Regional VOR, or the Fort Smith VOR. So here is the airport. The VOR is all the way over here in Kibler. So there's that. But we're in Fort Smith. We know that's the airport identifier, so that's where we're going to check for our weather. Most days we'll be flying in this area here. Yeah, right here would be north side. But this will give us our weather for this whole area. You can zoom out, zoom in, and there'll be a lot of other places like Salisaw and stuff like that. But we'll stay zoomed in right about there. Okay, so again, we're looking for weather. That's why we went to map and weather charts. There's interactive map, weather charts. We're on the interactive map now. Down here in the bottom right corner, there's a little hint for you. METAR and TAF. If the reporting station, which is this spot right here, is green, it's VFR conditions. If it's blue, it's moderate VFR or marginal VFR. If it's red, it's instrument flight rules. If it's purple, it's another type of VFR. But we won't fly in anything that's red or purple due to the nature. If you were to see these red spots, that tells you that there is either a current or a future flight restriction, and this is for the weather map when it's rolling through, which you can press play right there and it'll give you an overview, an overlay of weather radar. So if we click on this little thing right there, it's going to give us a tip on METAR symbols once it loads, just so you can go back and remember. Color indicates flight category, which is going to be the green, blue, red, purple, or gray. And the fill indicates sky cover. So if it's just a green circle, it means it's clear skies. If it's green with a little line in the middle, then it's few clouds. If it's the circle with a corner taken out, then it's scattered. A circle that's mostly filled in is broken, and a full circle is overcast. Now again, our ceiling clouds are broken clouds and overcast. So our ceiling is defined by these two. These other three are informational, and they will not define our ceiling. So we're primarily looking for green that is mostly white in the middle. Maybe blue that's white in the middle, but probably not. Again, our flight category definitions of VFR is visibility greater than 5 miles and ceiling greater than 3,000 feet above ground level. And then there's your marginal VFR with the visibility 3 to 5 miles and or ceiling 1,000 feet above ground level to 3,000 feet above ground level. As long as we've got the visibility up there, we should be okay in marginal VFR because we have to be 500 feet below the clouds. So that's where we would have to pay attention on there. But just the typically just the risk involved with like haziness and stuff and marginal VFR isn't something we're going to want to mess with as novice drone pilots. IFR, obviously that's out because you've got to have more than 3 statute miles visibility, and if the ceiling was 500 feet, we can only get 100 feet above the ground. But our visibility would be too low. And then the other two don't really pertain to us at all, because it's low instrument flight rules, which is the worst of the worst. Only very experienced pilots in manned aircraft are going to fly in that with lots of expensive equipment. So enough of that rambling. So we've got those symbols. Now we're going to click on the dot, and it's going to give us our METAR and our TAF report. So some of y'all are going to remember how to read this. Some of y'all might have forgotten. But we'll do a quick breakdown. So we've got KFSM on the METAR. That is our reporting station. It was issued on the 5th day of the month at 23:53 Zulu. Up here at the top right, we've got our current local time, central time, of 1916 Zulu. And then it also shows us the time for Zulu time, which is shown to be about 5 hours ahead of us. So we've got to keep that in mind, that Zulu time is different from local time. So this number is not going to be local time. But luckily on this platform it tells us that the METAR was reported 23 minutes ago. So that makes it pretty simple for us there. The next area for us is going to be the winds. So it's telling us our winds are 330 degrees at 7 knots. We've got 10 statute miles of visibility. The next spot is going to be our sky cover, which is clear skies. Then we have our temperature and dew point. So 24 degrees Celsius is our temperature, 0.6 degrees Celsius is our dew point. And so that's a pretty close, that's not close at all. So the closer the numbers, the more likely there is to be precipitation. With it being that far away, we're pretty good. A is our altimeter. So the altimeter is 3005. Then you've got remarks, which that's not going to pertain to us too much. Down here is our TAF for like more than 6 hours from now, or everything from now to on. So the TAF, Terminal Aerodrome Forecast for Fort Smith, was issued on the 5th day of the month at 23:22 Zulu. Its valid time is on the 6th day of the month at 00 Zulu. So this is currently valid, as you can tell by looking here. And it's valid through the 6th day of the month at 2400 Zulu. So this is valid for almost the next 24 hours. And when it's that valid period, winds are 330 at 03 knots. We've got P 6 statute miles. It's easy for me to remember the P is a plus. So plus 6 statute miles, which is more than 6 statute miles of visibility. We've got few clouds at 250. So it's going to be few clouds at 25,000 feet. Add 2 zeros on the end. Temporarily, from the 6th day at 00 to the 6th day at 01 Zulu. So sometime between now and the next 40 minutes, winds will be 330 at 08 knots, gusting to 15 knots. Then from the 6th day at 1200 Zulu, so about 11 and a half hours from now, the winds will shift to 360 at 05 knots, plus 6 statute miles of visibility, few clouds, 25,000. The only real change there is our wind direction and speed. But it is saying that there's going to be clouds up there, so we've got the partial indicator there. And then from 1900 on the 6th day, so about 18 hours from now, the winds will be 320 at 5 knots with plus 6 statute miles of visibility, and sky conditions are clear. So clear skies. So it looks like, all in all, for the next 24 hours, it'll be ideal conditions to fly. And just some stuff you could play around with on here. Right now I've got it on Street View because that's easiest for us to figure out. But when you're trying to study up and whatnot, you can always switch over to the VFR. And once that loads up, it gives you our sectional chart, or the sectional for this area. And you can see Fort Smith, Fort Chaffee. You got your restricted areas down there. The VOR is up there. And stuff like that. We click on Memphis sectional, it should appear the same. Again, my internet is slow, so we'll go back to Well, there it goes. Go back to VFR, then we can do different layers where it shows our METARs and TAFs. If we click this, it'll give us PIREPs, if any PIREPs have been made, which are pilot reports. So if there's an airplane flying around over here and it's experiencing turbulence or clouds that weren't forecast, they'll tell that to air traffic control over here, and then they will log it on the map, and it'll pop up on here so we know. Then there's the temporary flight restrictions, significant meteorological information. We can check all that. Airmen's meteorological information, so it's going to be like our icing and severe weather, stuff like that. Our icing, turbulence, center weather advisory, severe weather. So if there's watches or warnings, we can turn that on and that'll pop up there. We could turn all those on so we know everything, which it could really congest the map. Again, the NEXRAD radar is on, which that is just reflecting precipitation in the environment, is how that works. And you can also do satellite, graphical turbulence guidance, icing, winds aloft. So that's not bad. And then UAS operating areas. So if there has been a flight plan made for a UAS, sometimes in this platform it'll pop up that there will be a UAS operating in a certain area for a certain time. So that's one thing. If you know you're going to be flying over here in Greenwood and you're out of the restricted areas, if you're going to be flying over here in Greenwood and you see a purple shaded dot right here, you'll want to check in on that because that could be more stuff. As you can see, my little mouse pointer is showing Turblow mod SFC to 080. That means, based off of our AirMet, that turbulence for this area where my mouse pointer is low to moderate from the surface to 080 or 8,000 feet, as we add the 2 zeros at the end. And this was updated just now. Put that down, and then this is where we're looking for our winds aloft. I'm not seeing the indicators for that. Oh, so there's our wind at 3,000 feet. It's coming from pretty much the north at about 20 degrees or 20 knots. And there it's coming from the northeast at about 20 knots. So it's kind of windy over here. It hasn't shown up for over here yet. But I'm going to leave you with that, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. If you have any issues, questions, concerns, feel free to call, text, or email me. Or even if you just need to talk for a change of pace, talk to somebody different, give me a call. I'm here for you. This is the last week for our seniors, so y'all are almost done if you're not already done. So congrats on that. I'm happy for y'all, and I will miss y'all, that's for sure. So I'm going to end it now for this session, and I will see you guys tomorrow.